Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Sorry about the echo in here. Um, it's Mark here from Blue Marble Photography, and in case you haven't noticed, I've really kind of deviated away from doing photography videos, photography specific videos, simply because there's so much out there. I'll be doing some more. I've just kind of turned my attention to some other things around the property. And I've labeled it everyday living or something like that. And basically, we do gardening, and we also have a bird feeder that gets all kinds of wildlife coming in there. So I'm going to be posting that on my photography channel as well as my ambient calm channel as well. I have a channel that just basically is white noise. If you need to fall asleep with something, that's great. It's just really boring stuff to put you to sleep, really. That's all it is. So, and it's called ambient calm. Now, I wanted to back into a previous video that I made concerning gardening and the issues with woodlice, the roly-poly bugs, and they basically just eat up everything new. If you get new plants in there, they go in there and they just demolish them. If you get strawberries, and they have access to them, delete your strawberries. And there are things you can do to mitigate them getting to them. You can put straw down. There are some things you can do. But when there's too many in there, especially in a raised bed where they don't get out, their numbers just proliferate, and there's way too many. And I made a video that showed what I do to remove them and to just reduce their numbers before my spring planting. And that's what I did. And I went in there and I removed from two 4x8 beds, literally thousands and thousands of these things. And so this is going to be a follow-up video to see how it's working. So basically I went in, I planted seeds into cups. I first used the cups to catch these little roly-poly bugs and get rid of them. And then I followed up by putting our seedlings into those cups, cut the bottoms off the cups and some planters as well, some pots, some plastic pots. And I stuck them into the soil so that the roots can grow down into the soil, and hopefully, that's what we're hoping, right? The roly-poly bugs can't get up the side of the plastic, and that will help mitigate the invasion of these pill bugs getting into our plants. So we're going to take a look at that, and you're going to see that the potato plants have just gone ballistic. They're really, and I should have figured that. That's just typically what they do when they're given a chance to grow without these pill bugs eating at them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut away the pots that are on the potato plants, and I'm going to build up the soil around them. Now I'm going to leave one roly-poly trap in there near the potato plants, and I always leave at least one in there in each, in each planter to try and mitigate the amount of those things because they just become a menace. And I try to just keep feeding it and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm going to show you. We're going to take a look at the other plantings that I have. Some of the things I've been harvesting, like radishes, right? Radishes go quick. You can usually get those pretty quick. It's been cool here, so it's taken them a little bit longer. So we're going to go take a look at that, at the one bed that I did. I did another one, but we won't bother with that one. And see how things are going. Then I'm going to show how I cut away the pot, the plastic pot, because I don't want to keep plastic on there. I don't like the idea of plastic, even though maybe they're food grade or whatever, but I don't like the idea of plastic. And as soon as I can, I'll cut it away. You're also going to see some daikon radishes that I think are still too young to build soil up around them, because I don't when the leaves are still tender that the pill bugs really want to go after them. So I'll show you those as well, and we'll root around some of the things that didn't work just to make sure and I replanted some things in some of the cups. And we're going to take a look inside the cups to make sure that there are no pill bugs in there. We did also plant some okra, and they are such slow growers, and I've been told that they just love the heat. Just wait till it gets hot and they'll do well. But for now, they're just really small. And we'll look in their cups too, because I think if a pill bug got in there, they would have eaten them already, because that's what happened last time. So we're not going to build up any soil around those cups either. I'm going to leave them in the cups, let the roots grow down into the main soil, and let them get strong, and then at some point we'll remove them and we'll see what happens. The last time we tried this it was last season, we tried to grow some of that okra, and they started to grow, and then they just got attacked by these little pill bugs because they just never matured enough to defend themselves, and they ended up all dying. So we're keeping our fingers crossed for this time, and we'll get after it. Okay, so here's the garden bed here. It's 4x8, and you can see all of the potatoes growing on the left side over there. That's them over there. And down there, we have some radishes. If you dig through those plantings, you'll find inside those cups, I found virtually no woodlice except for in one cup, and they were leaving the plant alone that was in there. So I was really happy to see that. If you dig around, like in these radishes, you can see we've been harvesting some of those radishes already. But when you go through there are no pill bugs. There's no woodlice whatsoever, and that is a good sign. And I was really happy to see that. That's the okra there. And some of those okra died off already. These are the daikon radishes, and they're doing well, but they're not quite old enough to build up the soil around them yet. I'm going to let them get a little bit more mature before we build up the soil around them. It's been about 6 weeks since I made that original video, about 5 weeks from when I made that original video. So you can see that the potatoes there are going all crazy. And so this is what they look like. You can see that they're still in pots. Yeah, that's the okra there. So basically what we want to do is we want to cut out the pots that our potato seedlings are in, or potato starters are in. And we want to build up the soil up to where the stems are currently. And that's really all we want to do. So we just get some soil ready, we break it up, we get some compost all broken up and ready to go. And this is some pretty good stuff here. I've had a few problems with it in the past, but not much. Sometimes you can find grubs in there. That's not good, but that happens. So basically I just take my scissors, because these are really thin plastic pots. You can actually cut right through them, and you can cut through the bottom. And some of these roots are already going into the main soil. So I'm trying to be careful not to pull the plant out and damage any of those roots. I really want to be careful not to do that. So we're going to do that with these, and I'm just going to go ahead and speed this up to make it shorter. We're just going to take them all apart, and just be really careful when you do this, and expose all your roots. You can see that's kind of what it looks like when we're done with that. And you can see in the back there, that cardboard, that's where my pill bug trap is still set back there. They crawl into this deep cup and they don't come out. And that's really been working pretty well on top of everything else we've been doing. So now we're just going to bring in handfuls of soil a little bit at a time and start filling in between where all the pots were. Build up the soil to where the potato stems are, so the roots are well protected. That's what we're going to do, and eventually this soil will settle as well, and we'll end up having to build it up again a little bit anyway. I'm sure we will. There is one in the back. There's one pot that we're going to just leave there because I don't want to build up soil on top of that pill bug trap. I want to leave that accessible for them so they can crawl in and not ever come out. There's still lots of pill bugs in this planter. I removed thousands of them, but there are still lots in there. It is, oh, wait a minute. Whoa. That's right. I forgot about this. Yeah, this moth was in there, and this gigantic moth freaked me out. It's like, what? Oh, you got to be kidding me. You know, I built this big protective railing thing system around my planter, and this thing got through it because it's so skinny it can make through. Anyway, it freaked me out. So once we're done doing that, once we're done building up the soil, we just come in and we give it a squirt. We water it down really well and kind of arrange the leaves in a way that they're not going to interfere with the plants next door to them, because I don't want them casting big shadows on all of our okra. Those okra like the heat, so we don't want to shade them too much. So I just give everything a good soak, and typically I'll hand water everything, and then once a week or so I'll come in and do a deep soak for everything so that the roots have a place to go. They know that if they go down deeper, there's going to be water deeper, and that encourages everything to grow deeper. So that's where we are. We're about 5 weeks since the woodlice were removed. Things are looking pretty good. And we're going to come back again when we start building up soil for all of these other plants, just as an update. But so far, these potatoes look great. They're going nuts. And some of the other plants are starting to take off as well. And we'll see in about a month or so, and we'll see how these things are looking. See you later.